Hello, welcome once again to Living and Active. This is going to be a video on the Living and Active playlist, Living Active Live playlist, whatever. So this is going to be a LNA squared video. What I have here is I've already written a post about it and I recorded a short video about it, but this is the AAC device, augmentative and adaptive communication device. It's basically a glorified tablet that has speech expression software in it. It's got pretty standard hardware that came with it. There's a power supply and cord and all that. Case. This is a Tobii Dynavox. By the way, this channel is not, has never been, will never be sponsored by anybody. So if I mention specific brand names and models and all this other stuff, no one's paying me to do so. And if they offered to pay me for doing so, I would refuse. So again, not sponsored, but this is a Tobii Dynavox I-110. It came with, let me get my framing correct here, came with this cool little box of stuff, and the stuff that this box includes, safety information. I found this on eBay, a couple $100. Most of the other ones that I saw on eBay or anywhere else were $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So I guess this is a quick start guide for using the. Let's get in frame. I will never figure out how to do this. I'm working backwards. I've got the viewfinder on the camera flipped around backwards, and I've got it set off to my side, so I'm looking at it backwards. It's got this cool set of training cards for the software. Taking care of the device, things like that. The device itself, the one I have, is Windows based. Android. They also have another model that is specifically geared towards iOS or Mac or whatever. And here's the unit itself. Like I said, it's basically just a fancy tablet. It's got all kinds of. The speaker system on it is pretty impressive, though. I don't know if you can see that, but it came with a very nice protective shell type thing. If you saw in the short video where I did the demonstration of it, it's got some basic word finding functions to it, text to speech. It's got oh, I forgot to clear it. Here's even the here's the sentence I wrote in the short video.
What I want is to help other people.
You probably heard that very clearly on the camera's microphone. But I could clear and then come up with a different letter. I go to keyboard, and I'm just started playing around with this today. Not playing around with it, studying it for real, getting to becoming familiar with it, learning how to use it, all this other stuff. But keyboard, and then I can type out, and then as I start typing, say I want to
P L A.
Not that anyone would, but if I want to talk
T.
about platypus,
Y.
in the suggestions, it has platy, play, plate, platypus. So then I would just click on here.
Platypus.
It shows a picture, and then it reads the word, and then I continue on either typing in or just making sentences. And then when I'm ready, when I have the complete sentence, then I hit speak, um, and it reads it. I was worried before I got it, after I bought it, that I wasn't going to have any kind of functionality with it whatsoever. Um, you see, I have it set up for a 7x7 grid. It goes up to, I don't remember, but you can get a much more um, detailed grid up here, displaying icons and everything else if you wanted to. I think for really small kids, it has grids of like 2 or 4, and then they just keep breaking everything down to uh, until they get the concept across that they're wanting to communicate. Um, let me see. We'll go. I forgot how to. And then you can see in the bottom here, it actually has a toolbar just like Windows, regular Windows. I need to charge it. It's getting low on the battery. Figure out how to close this out. There we go. And then I'm particularly fond of the home screen. I'm going to keep that exactly the way it is. That's not me. I've never been to these mountains, but that's a story I would love to be able to tell if it was true. So the picture stays. This is the one that came with it. Um, but yeah, the functionality that I have it hooked up to my Wi-Fi right now, so I'm not doing anything cloud-based. Um, the software that was already installed on it gave me the option of starting a new account with it, and it offered a free version, which is what I'm making use of. I don't know how in depth I would have to go in order, or before I started having to pay for new features in the software or whatever. But I think for now, just figuring out the functionality and learning how to integrate it into living and active gatherings for those who might need something like this or benefit from it. Um, for nonverbal people communicating with blind people or what have you, or whatever functionality this could actually be brought into. That's why I have it. But I'm very grateful to the Lord that I was able to find this for this price point and be able to have some kind of functionality with it pretty much right out of the box, um, without massive expenditures up front. So at least I can start exploring with it, learning it, and then figuring out what's possible. Um, so I'll turn that off, or put it into sleep mode, stick it back in the bag. The bag is very nice. Everything fits snugly just so. I'll put this on the charger in a little bit. And then the cool thing about this is the pack, the bag, whatever you want to call it, that goes with this device has an offset sling type strap along with the suitcase type handle. But it's offset. One side's anchored to one side, one side's anchored to the other side, so it's can easily drape over the back, or the back handle of a wheelchair, um, and be pretty secure back there. hanging out with the backpack or what have you. Um, but yeah, so that's that. I got that in today, and I've been wanting to uh, find as many ways as possible to integrate as much as possible into the Living and Active gatherings from the very beginning, because I don't want anyone to be feeling excluded by default as these things gain traction. Try not to drop my camera. That would be great, wouldn't it? Hello, here's my face. Um, but let me see if I can get camera angle again. There we go. I'm a little flushed. My AD is, I wasn't planning on showing my face because I know I'm a little bit flushed because my AD is kicking in. This is just a short video, relatively speaking. But if you saw the thumbnail, you might be wondering how it ties into, the technological uh, device. It's got. By the way, this is cool. This just came in yesterday, I think. But this is the New Home Midget. I didn't name it. That's the name that's on it. Uh, Travel sewing machine. I figure it's about mid 1870s in terms of date of manufacture, just from the way it's constructed and many of its design elements. Um, but if you're wondering what that has to do with what I opened the video talking about, what I want to do now, for years, ever since I got into this town, I've been laying the groundwork, making connections with people, meeting with community leaders, extending invitations in all directions for any kind of interaction in the community, whether it be uh, Bible study and prayer meetings in my apartment or even in public spaces or whatever. Um, Things like getting involved with the kids and the youth of a local church and getting them involved and just kind of sitting around and learning various craft skills, knitting, crocheting, whatever, learning and sitting and being able to just have conversations with an adult, learning things, whatever, and just being able to regain a little bit of sense of individual worth and um, the respect and the dignity of a human being, of being able to occupy space with other human beings, um, and be regarded on equal footing, not just sort of shrugged off and then kind of nudged off into the side to entertain themselves with other young people or whatever devices they happen to have and whatever content they happen to bring up on those devices. And then having genuine conversation with them. You would be amazed how readily those kids, those young people opened up once uh, their hands were holding something and their eyes were fixed on something that wasn't constantly feeding into their dopamine receptors, their reward centers. It was a different kind of reward. They were engaged, they were still, but they were focused. And many of them talked. They just talked. Um, they got excited about learning a new skill, about continuing a skill maybe they had started learning and sat down for a while, whatever. And I tried to do all these things, and I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I've tried them. I've extended the invitation everywhere for years, for years. So my level of curiosity Now, at the beginning stages of living an active life, is nominal at best. I'm no longer curious. I know what sort of I know I know the general oomph behind many of the people in this area regarding these things. Um, so I'm not counting on initial, uh, bandwagon type support. But it also frees me, having done all of the groundwork and everything before, laying the foundations and all that. It frees me from having to wonder if I could be doing more in terms of marketing and spreading the word and everything else. And because of that freedom, I can put my attention on expanding what I actually have to offer the people that would come to the gatherings. And it's not about, come to Living and Active and, and take part of the Leland show. Leland will fix everything. That's not it. I just want to have something of merit and value to offer people that come, because words are fine, words are necessary, and genuine sentiment behind words can be the difference between um, a life held and restored, and a life allowed to continue towards ruin and being discarded, forgotten. Uh, but if I'm gonna go, I don't know. My ultimate dream, really, truthfully speaking, would be if I could just find a property with a decently sound shed on it that I could get into with my wheelchair. It's got power. Uh, it's got whatever. It's basically a shop type scenario where I could just get in there, set up, and not as a business charging for everything or whatever, but just accumulating whatever is necessary, whatever is good for uh, for repairing things, for making things, for studying how to improve my skills in making and engineering. The book that you saw in the thumbnail is one of many that I have on the way from. I think the newest one is 1943, but between 1943 and going all the way back to like 1902, I think I am getting a pile of mechanical engineering texts and reference books for many other similar type of disciplines and fields of study, because I think it's going to be necessary in order to get these things rooted back into my mind after a lifetime of being distracted from putting my mind to its full potential. 10 years wasted in seminary, however many years spent in military career, and then 2 decades. Um, a lot of these overlap, by the way. I'm not 100 years old, but and then 2 decades spent, spinning my tires in the traditional workplace, grinding my body to powder so that it's not sustainable for me to do that anymore, to make a decent living, that kind of way. Well, what I would have really loved to do, I mean, if I could reset anything, I would want the Lord to take me back to a point where I can make a different decision, and somehow at this point, wheelchair and everything being the same. have a little piece of property that nobody could kick me off of, in a simple little building with the ability to fabricate things, to make things, to design things, to construct things, repair things, or whatever. In case you lost count of the clock chimes, it is now 11 p.m. But and then just leave it open. Just work in the shop, leave it open. Um, have have it set up where in summer the door is just open. I'm just out there working. Anybody can come by and and you know talk to me or whatever, drop something off, pick something up, whatever. Um, if kids wanted to come by and learn how to do things, or even young men, even young women, whatever, uh, wanted to come by and learn some useful skills, um, then they could, and it would just be that would be ideal. I might still find a place like that I can do those kinds of things in. I know it's not going to be my apartment. The two spaces that I've seen that are available close by to me, they're more storefronts than they are shops. So they're all finished on the inside. Uh, really controlled access and entry. Um, and it's in a location that's, I guess, could serve the whole vibe of people just being able to walk by and hang out and sit and visit and talk or whatever, and interact, but not necessarily. So while I'm waiting to see if something like that can be made available, Lord willing, and if the Saints don't rise first, um, then I'm just going to take the opportunity, now that I've done all of the uh, preliminary stuff and maybe wasted too much time doing the preliminary stuff. But now that the actual schedules are in place, now that I have the answers for all of the other places in Fenimore that I was looking at, now that I know I have to wait for the library to finish its construction before I can have anything in Fenimore, now I can focus on the very real tasks of seeing if there can be some uh, practical space that I can find and actually use as a work area where people can feel comfortable coming by, hanging out, chatting, learning, whatever. Um, cooperative brainstorming, whatever, to fix a solution to meet the needs of somebody that otherwise would have to go through months or years of approval processes, um, and be on the hook for many thousands of dollars, or just doing without, or what have you. And in order to do that, I need to put myself back to the grindstone with the same fervor that I had for those 10 years I wasted in seminary, uh, and actually learning principles of engineering, mechanical uh, engineering, machining, electrical, hydraulic uh, engineering, that kind of thing. The many topics uh, that I want to brush up on and gain a better knowledge of, in order to actually be able to make as much as I can with the simple tools that I have. Um, Even like sewing machines, just designing gear, accessories, clothing, whatever that's accessible, that's adaptive, that's whatever, for the benefit of other people who would never be able to pay somebody uh, what they would ask for these same things. That's what I want to do. So, kind of like the AAC device, I'm just on beginning the opening moments of all of this, and I don't know to what extent I can succeed in the time that's remaining uh, in gaining proficiency enough to actually be of any kind of real impact, I guess. But I also refuse to be the one to be like, well, I'll never ever be able to build these up fast enough or enough to do any good. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't do any good by not doing anything. I can't do that. This shirt I'm wearing says, "Live like you'll die tomorrow, die like you'll live forever," and it's how I feel. That's what I mean. I might have another 10 years. I might have 20 years. I doubt I have 50 years, but I might not even have 10 minutes. I don't know, but I don't want to waste any of them. So that's the thing. That's what I'm working on. The Living and Active live gatherings are pretty much set for the time being. Um, all of the peripheral stuff to other, so far, to other potential things that kind of spur out from that in the respective towns. Those are kind of underway, but they can rest and coast and I guess kind of cultivate in their own time. So now it's just working on myself, my own knowledge base, gaining information, lots of information, and seeing what is necessary, what is possible, what is not necessary, what is not possible. And yeah, that's it. So that's what I'm up to. I didn't mean to take as long as I have. I said it was going to be a short video. I'm almost at 27 minutes already. But yeah, that's the update. So I was going to go elbow deep into that sewing machine that I just showed you, but I'm not. Now I have a head full of steam and curiosity about um, applications for the AAC device, and I also want to put some more time to looking for suitable properties that may or may not be available. So that's what I'm going to be doing after I don't know. I'll probably have to do something to address my AD. I'm not uncomfortable, but I know that my body's trying to tell me that something is wrong or something's not sitting right or whatever. So I'll figure that out. And then I'll come back and I'll do all of the video editing and the uploading and all that other stuff. And then I'll settle into a nice long night of staring at my laptop, wishing that this wasn't the level of technology that we had, and dreams of, you know, sweating it out in a rickety old shack somewhere with, nothing but what's left of my hands and the tools that I'm able to scrounge together and a basic understanding of what it takes to build things for other people. So whatever you find to do, remember Hebrews 11:6, and until next time, if there is a next time, and there might not be, God be with you.